Hi, sorry for the bad quality and everything in this video right now. I, I, I hadn't prepared for this. I just kind of slapped this avatar and my microphone together, and we're gonna hope for the best. What really happened is I saw this new game demo that came out, SCP Secret Files. It's from this indie developer, GameZoo Studio. This seems to be the only thing they've done so far. Their very first game. Good for them. And I was looking over some footage. I looked up someone did a walkthrough, and I have some opinions that I just need to get out of my lungs. This video is it's no shade on the developers at all. They're indie. They're just starting out. This is probably a passion project, so I really shouldn't be expecting professional, high-quality work. I mean, look at this video that I'm making right now. I certainly can't make professional, high-quality work either. And the look of this game is awesome so far, as far as I've gotten in the video. But there are some bits in the writing and the voice acting that are kind of getting on my nerves. So if you want to take this nitpick journey with me, I'm just going to review the footage with you. I'm going to start back at the beginning here, and I'm going to air all of my grievances. Hi, editing me. I realized in my nervousness that I forgot a couple of things. Firstly, obviously, this has spoilers for the SCP Secret Files demo, because we'll be showing a lot of the gameplay footage. Secondly, big credit to user the Game Archivist, whose video I was looking at for this entire video. Please check them out if you can, especially because I will be I'm only going to be showing clips of my commentary. I'm not showing the entire demo, so if you get lost at any point because I skipped over some lore, please go check out the Game Archivist's original capture of this game so that you can have a better understanding of what's going on here. Thank you. So, it's still in the developments. It's still being developed, obviously, because it's a demo. So hopefully a lot of this will get fixed in post, or maybe it won't. As I said, this is just a lot of tiny things that bugged me. So these things don't need to be fixed in order to become a better game. I gotta get that out right now. These don't need to be fixed. This is just me being just an extremely anal person. That's who I am. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Let's start the video.
Blood pressure 175 over 110.
I'm not a medical person, so I don't know if any of this doctor talk is accurate. But I hope it is.
Bella? Bella?
Oh, here's the thing that's been bugging me the entire time that really doesn't need to be fixed at all. There isn't a space between whoever's talking and the sentence they're saying. Like, if you look at the captions right there, it's got a colon and then the word immediately after. There's no buffer.
Where's the black box, Sparrow?
Where's the black box, Sparrow? That's a good opener. It tells you the character's name and what they had.
You were tasked with investigating the situation at Site 74.
Okay, that's a little more annoying. Like I was saying, where's the black box, Sparrow is a very good opening line because it tells us the point of view character is Sparrow, and she had at some point a black box. We saw that she was holding it earlier, and it's gone. That's a very good setup that's believable within... it's what the character is saying is believable within the world. That's how people talk. But this part right here... 3 days ago, you were tasked with investigating the blah, 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 blah. He's immediately telling her what her mission was, even though he should assume that she knows what her mission was, right? She was there. It was her mission. It's already happened. When you wake someone up, do you tell them exactly what they were doing before they went to sleep? Do you shake awake your sibling or spouse like, oh man, last night you were brushing your teeth and now you're here? I'm sorry, we'll continue.
You were assigned to retrieve the black box. Now, out with it. Where is the black box?
I like that they're delivering information to the viewer, but I just don't think that the way they did it is exactly, I'm not sure it's good dialogue,
I brought it
that's
back.
all. I really don't like this guy's voice. Like, I'm sure the actor did his
Bella,
best, and I really
I'm
appreciate
terribly
that.
sorry to have to bother you in such a state, but it is critical that we find that black
But seriously,
box.
nobody talks like that.
We need
Nobody
to
uses
know
this
what happened
inflection.
at Pony Station.
My memories. Currently heading to mission site 74.
And suddenly
Pony
the audio
Station.
gets really
We'll
loud
arrive in
here.
about 3 minutes.
I don't know why they didn't check from scene to scene to make sure the audio was balanced, but I hope they fix that in the future. That could ruin someone's headphones if they have it up too high. Oh, another thing I noticed in this clip earlier is that
Very good, Sparrow.
that
It's been
her
48 hours
tracker
since the
is
Foundation
flying.
lost contact
Look
with
at
Pony
that.
Station.
I don't know if you're very familiar with scale when it comes to roadside maps, but like the way she's moving here, that is so fast. That I'm sorry, I'm gonna back up so we can get back to the dialogue. Oh yeah, she said she's arriving in 3 minutes from here. 3 minutes from a building should be like here. I get that that's just stylistic. I don't mind that. It's just it was very entertaining for me.
At Site 74, Pony Station. We'll arrive in about 3 minutes.
Very good, Sparrow. It's been 48 hours since the Foundation lost contact with Pony Station. SCP-701 experiments there have been ongoing.
Now, I'm not familiar with 701 specifically. I'm really just a extremely casual fan of SCP, so I'm not going to look it up yet. I'm just going to let it be a fun surprise for whenever we get there. If they show 701 in this demo. But, oh yeah, what I was going to say is I don't get why he's briefing her while she's driving there. They should have told her earlier. Not that I mind that either. That's a common narrative tactic. It just particularly gets on my nerves for whatever reason.
We have reason to suspect a containment breach.
What is my mission?
According
She's
to
only just now asking what her mission is.
Foundation Security Regulation 709S, each site must have a black box placed in a secure area to assist in identifying the cause of an accident, should one occur. Your task is to investigate the situation and retrieve the black box.
Black box? Got it.
And see, she doesn't ask where it is. I mean, nothing like, oh, any hints on where in the building a black box is usually stored? Or, is there a map of a layout of the facility that you could give me before I drive all the way there? Something like that. It's what I would do anyway.
Okay, I've arrived.
Officially known as Site 74, was originally a hydroelectric power station.
Now, I
After
like
it was
that
abandoned,
world
the
building.
Foundation repurposed it as one of their sites. Initially, it was used only
Because
to
you'd
contain
think that SCP buildings would... I'm sorry. Foundation buildings. That's like calling the Doctor Doctor Who. You'd think that Foundation buildings would be built expressly for that purpose, but one that's been repurposed from another facility gives it a little more character, and it hopefully should influence the layout when you're actually playing this game. I hope they take that into account. I mean, they've probably got some kind of water puzzles or something. Or maybe they referenced existing hydroelectric plant blueprints when they were making the level designs. I'm just looking forward to seeing that.
few safe level anomalies. But recently it's
I don't
also
know why
taken over
anomalies is in quotes.
SCP-701.
I mean, that's
I
actually
don't
what
know
they
all
call
the
them.
details. We won't know the truth until you retrieve the black box.
Got it. I'll complete the task as instructed and retrieve the black box.
Okay, she's sounding all chipper, like this is potentially an extremely dangerous mission. There's an SCP has possibly breached containment, and contact with the entire facility has been lost. So you could be walking into a death trap. And she's all like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this mission, and it's gonna be awesome." Wink, anime sparkle. Yes, this. This is the part that made me like really mad. I did watch a little longer, but I eventually had to stop watching and set up all of this just so I could talk to you and air out my grievances. I don't mind any of this equipment. This looks fine. I can't attest to how canon it is to the SCP wiki or anything, but oh. Okay, so this case full of the equipment for your mission is just sitting here next to the gate. You know that it's for your mission and not for any other purpose because they left a photo of the objective in there for you. Now that has me thinking, who left this here? Who left this here on the ground where anyone could pick it up? If they had an agent out by this building and their only instructions were to leave this briefcase here and move on, that's a waste of personnel. If they're a field agent who would be able to investigate, why not let them investigate? If they're not, if they don't have the requirements to investigate, why make them do this at all? If 701 is outside the facility, and I don't know what it does, but if it's like hunting people down, then that would also just be putting this other person in danger. Why didn't they just... oh man, I'm forgetting her name already. Why didn't they give this agent, the player character, the equipment already? Why... Like, when you stop the car, you'd think that she'd be like, "Ah, yes, I have to get my equipment from the trunk," and then the player would move over to the trunk and they'd get that briefcase out. Like, why wouldn't they send her equipment with her? This is baffling. I know this is the most insignificant thing. Everything that I'm complaining about is so inconsequential, and I'm sure that it'll still be an awesome game even with all these things I'm noticing, but the fact that they're so noticeable to me just really takes me out of the immersion. Ooh. Alright, let's continue.
Entered Pony Station.
Retrieve the black box from the lab. Room 705. The elevator. 7th floor. Sparrow.
Bald Eagle, you're cutting out.
I don't get what this stability rate sensor is.
This is out of the safe
At first
range.
I thought that it might
I'll
be
place a reality anchor.
Just a minute. At first I thought it might be the radio connection because while this thing was dipping, so was that. But we see now she places what's called a reality anchor, and now everything's stable again. So I'm wondering if this is some kind of technology that's supposed to suppress anomalies. But I could be wrong. Anyway, just good visual storytelling. Yes. She doesn't have to explain it to the viewer at all. They still get an understanding of what's going on. Very basic jump scare. Why would anyone have a mannequin in the locker? Study. Efficient, fast, direct. It all begins tomorrow. I don't know what that's all about. Oh no, I'm in your way, aren't I? Oh gosh, I should move. I'm so sorry. Here I am. If you want to read that, it's right there. You can pause the video. And I'm just gonna scoot myself back on over. Okay. Alright. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So it seems that this guy, Tyler Cooper, has taken over for Dr. George Thompson for 701, and he doesn't like that Thompson was using chimpanzees for his experiments. Now, using chimpanzees for experiment subjects is completely allowed for the Foundation, but I guess he's ticked off that they haven't been using human subjects. That's probably what it's referring to. The SCP Foundation is allowed to use human subjects. That's what D-class workers are for. But I guess Dr. Thompson was against human experimentation, or maybe he thought that 701 would react adversely to humans, or I don't know. But we're gonna find out.
Tyler
Reasonable. When accessing confidential documents, the regulations and relevant the regulations and the regulations. The regulations and relevant you just listed the regulations twice. Hey, would you look at that? Ohio issued 25-cent coin. Is the fact that it's from Ohio going to be relevant for any reason? Is there going to be some puzzle like, I need a coin from Ohio specifically to solve this? Oh, now we get to look under every potted plant. I'm sure that's going to be great. Not like the trash cans in Pokeball. In Pokemon at all. Wow, I misspoke there. Did the plant do that? Now I gotta wonder what's on the floor there. Will you be going to those lower levels later? Because you can't move that catwalk up and down. Is that another mannequin? Gross. Okay. The site must have been in disrepair for so long if there are that many rats just about. That or they just never took care of the place in the first place. Yep, more mannequins. Okay, good. So the one in the locker had a purpose. Other than just scaring you. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's that one. Oh.
Some kind of poem?
It's not a very good one. Let's...
My head.
Oh, that can't be good.
That does sound terrifying. But perhaps it was just a
Perhaps
nightmare.
it was just a nightmare. Are you Foundation or not? You don't just dismiss witness testimony as just a nightmare when you work for the goddamn Foundation. Who are you? Fuck off.
We wake up. It's even lower than before. It's a place of reality.
I wonder how much of that is automatically done by the game and how much is done by the player.
I guess
Because if it's automatic, that's just very walking simulator of it. I'm gonna have to look up after this if 701 is the mannequins or if it's something else and the mannequins are just also another SCP that happened to be here. What? Oh, don't mind us.
This cognito hazard. Could it have something to do with SCP-701? The situation here is much more serious than I expected.
Okay, so either the cognito hazard is 701 or it is not 701 and just happens to be a different SCP. If it is 701, why hasn't she researched what 701 is and what it can do? I mean, you'd think that that would be a minimum requirement for the job, is understanding the situation. But let's continue. Oh, hold the fuck up. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go back that far, but would you look at this? No keyboard, no desk, no computer tower, just an old CRT, a CRT monitor. Give it... Oh, another script, ask 2. You gotta wonder what this actually has to do with anything, though. And they gotta stop doing that giant noise every time a mannequin does something. That's like, There are so many mannequins in this demo that to make a weird noise every time a mannequin does something, there's basically just this giant dramatic sound in your ears once a minute or so. After a while, it's not... Well, it was never scary in the first place, but now it's not even startling. We expect it now, and it hurts our ears. There's no point to it.
So many files. This must be the archive room.
So many files. Lady, that's the only piece of paper you've seen here. I mean, other than the one the mannequin was holding. Here, let's... Come on. Come on. See, so many files looking at the empty cabinets. Come on. Come on.
So many files. This must be the archive room.
I mean, I see boxes. I see lockers. Oh, there's some binders there. But that doesn't really strike me as an archive room. But having the character gasp and say, wow, so many files, when there's like maybe one bookshelf full of files. Oh, this must be the archive room if there are so many files. This one must be one of those famed libraries I've heard about. Like, lady... Meh. Oh no, a mannequin did a thing! Who could have seen this coming? Ah, see, backing up a little bit. I keep going just a little too far, so I'm trying to avoid that this time. But there seem to be, yeah, a lot more files in here. See, that's looking a little more archivy. I don't see why she said that earlier when there weren't near as many files.
I managed to find a phone, and I called her back up.
I just noticed that everything behind them looks kind of like an office. Like, is this hospital bed just set up in an actual office? Look at that, the file cabinet, the exposed piping, potted plant. This doesn't look like a hospital. What the hell are they doing?
There was no contact with the outside world whatsoever. A phone call? That would have been impossible.
No, but I saw...
What did you see, Bella? Tell us what you saw.
That's really not how a Foundation member should be acting. Unless, you know, they're not. You know, Q over there might not be Foundation, but I don't know. Yelling at a victim when they're having trouble remembering something really isn't going to help the situation. Claimed they were in a forest, coastal redwood and Caribbean pines. How would they know that? Did you have a botanist? Class D? Yeah, y'all did not do your jobs here. When you experiment, you should do small tests in a contained environment. That's like Science 101. Even when crazy reality bending isn't in effect.
Rehearsals? A play? What is up with this?
Given the
SCP
files we found earlier, you should not be surprised. Removed all video surveillance. Oh, that's so wise. I love that you did that. Oh, these are ancient. Well, that's weird. Despite all of the death, especially the deaths that occurred in reality, the play was a comedy. That's curious. Because, you know, in Shakespearean terms, no matter what happened during the play, tragedies end in death and comedies end in weddings.
Why does it look like they're all going to the same place?
Oh gee, I have no idea, Belle. It's a mystery, to be sure. You really don't think that the viewer would notice that? Huh. You know, everyone's saying that they have to kill Gonzalo. But in the play, they don't kill Gonzalo. They spare him and send him to the monastery. You know, as far as I can tell, nobody actually dies in this play. So why do the players get violent? Ah. Oh, what was it doing there? That, don't like that. I really, really doubt that it was being used as a prop in the play. So, if 701 put it there, or made it look like it was there, then that makes sense, I guess.
Before we really know what's behind this containment breach, Pony Station will have to be locked down. That much is for certain.
Okay, but, okay, It wasn't already locked down? The station went dark and there was a potential containment breach and no one thought to lock it down immediately? They left it there for who knows how long and then eventually sent an agent to retrieve the black box? Nobody locked the station down? What on earth? What are these people thinking? Well, that's cute. I wonder if there are other little bonus plushies hidden around the game. Ah, they didn't have the scary mannequin sound that time, thank God. And we have made it to the elevator. Or have we? Bum bum. Oh yeah, the guys at the supposed hospital did say that the facility was locked down, so why doesn't she think that it was locked down? I guess blame it on the cognito hazard.
Bella, we really need you to tell us the truth here.
No, I had it. In the escape elevator.
What escape
And
elevator?
there is no escape elevator at Pony Station. None of what you're saying adds up.
That's impossible. It's
Okay,
just
she
impossible.
got in there through the elevator.
Look at me, Bella.
How did the
Try
cognito
and
hazard affect her
focus.
before she even read anything?
What really happened?
What?
Alright, cool. Here's this exact scene again.
Yes. Where's the black box?
It strays from the original 701 script. So that's why the actors were missaying their lines, I see. Okay, so that at least explains the discrepancy between the performance and the written version. The written version was tampered with by Dr. Cooper, but the players were influenced by the cognito hazard and they performed the original version, which was far bloodier and, you know, killed each other.
So SCP
So that explains all of that.
701
I'm
is
okay
a
with that.
script. One performance and now all of Pony Station is wrong. Dr. Cooper, what have you done?
Yeah, he's an idiot. I can understand how confused he was in that original journal entry that the doctor before him was using chimpanzees, because how would they be able to perform a play? But also, how were there literally no containment procedures in play here? Like, they didn't do anything to stop what could potentially happen. And they even involved the actual station personnel. Like, you'd think that someone who knew what they were doing would just have entirely D-class performing, right? Right? And who were the other two SCPs and what did they do to affect this whole thing? And God, this is all just a mess. There were no notes on the other two SCPs and, you know, any previous experiments that might have caused Dr. Cooper to come to the conclusion that he should put them all together. This guy didn't do any research.
Where are they headed?
Just like Bella.
But where have all those volunteers gone?
So what's with the mannequins? Is that one of the other SCPs at play, or did, like, everyone turn into mannequins after they died, or are they ghosts? Is it just the cognito hazard messing with her head? How did anyone get to the ceiling to hang all those people?
Holy fuck. I guess this is the end
Or are
of
those
their
mannequins?
performance. SCP-701. The Hanged King's Tragedy.
Nope, they're people. And the nooses should be tighter than that. Like, that's not... If it's loose around the neck, that's not how a noose works.
Well, let's go then.
What? We haven't found the black box yet.
You still don't get it, do you?
Get what? What do you mean?
A black box is merely a vehicle for recording the truth. But a black box isn't always a black box.
You mean...
That's right. She is now the black box.
That...
Got time for a
No.
cold one?
No, no, no. 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 That's not what a black box... Human memory is so malleable. The cognitohazard manipulation is proof of that. Why would you say that? That's not only factually incorrect, but also jeopardizes your mission. Okay. Alright. Thanks again to the game archivist for recording that for us. Or not specifically for us, but they did that. Thank you, game archivist, for recording that. I have some concerns. Okay. I hadn't seen all of that before I fired this up. I had honestly just been wanting to share some little peeves that I had with the beginning. But the ending, those reveals, I have some concerns with the quality of the story now. Like, the quality of the game itself is perfectly fine. The visuals are great. The audio is subpar but usable. The mechanics are alright. It is mostly walking, but plenty of other games have used that and been perfectly effective anyway. But I am having so much trouble with this story. Like, it's fine that the cognitohazard was messing with her brain. I get that. And it's fine that we can't really tell exactly what was true and what was illusion. But that ending, man, that there is no indication of how she got back in the first place. And then the agents are like, well, she told us nothing new. We have learned nothing from this conversation. Let's just call it a day. We have witness testimony that's as good as a physical audio recording as anyone's gonna need. There are holes, and I'm looking forward to see what this game becomes once it moves out of the demo stage. I'm curious to see what the other two SCPs that were involved were. I hope that those two appear in later chapters, and perhaps the user has to track them down. Maybe even Belle will come back. I don't think she's in any situation to go back to work, but perhaps she'll be like a side character that the next player character gets information from. I hope that a lot of this gets a second pass in the writer's room before this becomes a finished project. And I'm just going to leave it there. Well, not completely. I am going to look up exactly what SCP-701 is to see if this depiction of it is accurate. Anyway, it's okay. So the character model that they had for it is accurate. The Hanged King. At no time are any of these items to be removed from the room. Okay, so first breach of protocol. Dr. Connor, I believe his name was, took out the copies of this play and distributed them amongst the they They should have fired him then, but then everyone decided to join in on his experiment. Silly. During the dress rehearsal period, they will spontaneously deviate from the published text that was mentioned in the emails. So the depiction of SCP-701 event was accurate within the game. One of my biggest concerns, though, is not how it was portrayed, but the fact that it happened in the first place. It just seems very unlikely that the doctor would say, hey, let's distribute all of these unauthorized materials, which are possibly memetic, to the entire site. That's misstep number one. That's misstep number one. And then literally everyone in the site who has read the potentially memetic text says, oh, let's all perform in it. That's big misstep number two. Like, did none of them seriously have anything to do? Like, none of them had things to attend to within their own positions? Or they all thought they'd just take the day off for this fun and flirty play that in no way was going to kill anyone? Did no one read 701's file, even? Even assuming that literally no one knew what 701 was or what it was capable of, they just decide randomly to hold a play involving the entire site at a specific time. And everyone makes it. Like, everyone's either part of the cast or part of the audience. And that's how they all get affected. But, no one had other stuff to do. No one was in the bathroom. Everyone, in the first place, even thought it was a good idea. I don't see this happening. And that's really tragic, because the game has the potential to be very good. But the whole setup to this scenario is flawed. And I'm not sure how I personally would fix it. Perhaps maybe if they made Dr. Connor intentionally malicious, maybe he was from one of the SCP's rival associations, and he had snuck in, and then he redacted most of 701's file so that no one could know how potentially harmful it was, and then he decided to make this play for everyone to enjoy, quote, quote, when he intentionally wanted to kill everyone at this site and set 701 free. Now, see, that would make a little more sense. Barring the fact that everyone was somehow available for this play. And they were willing to ignore their current work in favor of goofing off and hosting a play in a Foundation site instead of off grounds. That would make at least a little more sense. I am still stuck a little on the other two redacted SCPs. At least one of them was a real reality warper that was affecting the scenery, like the forest and the palace and all that. And I have to assume that that'll show up in later episodes of this story. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense to briefly include them and then not actually include them any further. Yeah, that just, none of that played out how I thought it would, and a lot of times that's a good thing, but this time in particular, it's a little rough and a little concerning. I hope that they're able to sort this out before the game becomes fully live. because they're doing real good with the visuals and the lore. And I guess that's really all I had to say. I don't have an outro or anything. Yeah, I hope you have a great day. See ya.